Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm here with my friend Lewis. We were supposed to get a little closer.
Dude.
Yeah. We did a live like a little while back and it fell out. But if you guys don't know who Lewis is, and we're pretty excited, we're going to talk about guest secrets. So how to be a good guest on our podcast, the whole process, how to find them, what to say, how to be a good guest. If you guys don't know who Lewis is, he's a badass. Like, he runs a badass agency. He works with some big people. I'll let you kind of explain. If you can brag right now if you want to, dude.
This is the open bragging time. All right,
Yes.
cool. So I do the same thing Daxi does, but it's funny because I'm more in the fitness space. But I guess some of the people who I work with, maybe you know, maybe don't. But it would be Joel Marion, so CEO of BioTrust, Vince Del Monte, Steve Weatherford. He's a former NFL player. Who else? Kind of bigger names that might be out there. Celeste Bonin, former WWE.
They all make a lot of money from their podcast.
They make good money from their podcasts. And
Dan Locke.
Well. Dan Locke. I forgot about Dan. Damn.
Like, he's a big one, dude.
He's a big one. He's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
That's my Sifu. You guys know it's martial arts for what is it? Yeah, like Sensei Master or something like that.
Yeah, he's a big Bruce Lee fan. I saw him recently. He's actually, it's funny because his in person, Dan Locke is so much cooler than online. He's like a sweet, he's like a teddy bear. A lot of people are saying that too.
I'm going to Locke House next month, I think, so that'll be fun.
Podcast Value Town, let's go. Whoever said that, appreciate that. Is it still showing? No, when I do that, it takes out. Okay, cool. So firstly, we want to talk about what's the first topic, dude?
I think it's like how to find good podcasts to be on. There's like over 500,000 actual podcasts in the iTunes directory. And there's probably, I don't know, like 1,000 at least that everyone here can get on. And that's a lot of shows. Like, that's a lot of like airtime. That's a lot of promo, PR. So I think so step one is like how to find them, right? I think Daxia, you've probably already done a couple of things on this, but we'll go through kind of the four main places that I personally look for.
Yeah, because you talk more than me. Everybody already hears me talking all the time.
That's true. I'll be watching these live too. They're pretty good, actually. So place number one, you probably already know this, but it is iTunes. I think Daxia will post the link. I sent him the link.
I can share the screen real quick.
All right, cool. So some of you may know this already, some of you may not, but iTunes actually has a whole directory of like a list of all the podcasts that they have in their directory, which not everyone knows about. Like, I stumbled upon this like a couple months ago, and I have no idea how I even found it. But I guess we can kind of go through a demo.
Yeah. So this is like the main page.
Yeah.
And it has all the categories, pretty much what you see in iTunes, but in the actual browser, it's easier to navigate.
Yeah. So let's look for do a live example. Like, what are some people who are in the group who have podcasts?
Let's just say fitness. Just say fitness.
All right, cool. So we'll go to so if you wanted to find a fitness show, you would go to health, you go to health and fitness, and then it's going to pull up all the shows, pretty much A to B or A to Z.
That'd be small list.
But okay, so there's a lot of sorting that happens now. However, this is where like a VA or somebody who maybe you're training under you who wants to like just get their hands dirty and help you out. This is where they come in, right? So what I would do, what I do with my own team, is I have them go through this list. If I'm looking to get on specific podcasts, maybe for like men over 40 who are looking for fat loss, I'll have them scrape this entire list. So they click in to everyone, so you can click in anyone you want.
The popular list?
Yeah, exactly. Popular podcasts, we'll start with those first.
My friend's actually going to interview this guy, Mind Pumps.
Oh, yeah, they're cool. Yeah, we have a couple of shows with them. They're awesome dudes.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, they're big time. So if you want to be on guest on this show, or if someone was doing this for you, let's just say you hired someone to do this, whatever. What you would tell them to look for is look at these episodes and see if they have any guests, because some shows don't have guests. So if you pitch them, it's gonna look really fucking bad. So look at if they have guests. So boom, so like you can tell if you click into one. I know these guys have guests, so like here, like Dr. Gabriel Lyon. So we know they have guests. That's good. Cool.
Mark Bell.
Number two, I would look for when was their last posting day. So obviously they just posted like 2 days ago, so they're relevant, because sometimes like you'll click in here and there'll be like a show from like 2016. So I think that's one thing we got to make sure we look out for. Number 3, I would probably click podcast website just to make sure they're legit. They have a good, like if you get on a show, you want them to promote it, right? You want it to look good. So that's number 3. I would say you definitely want to check out the podcast website. And then
right here, podcast website.
Boom. I think wasn't there a one you could actually say connect with hosts or something like that? They take that away. I think they did. There used to be like another one that was like contact.
Yeah, there was a contact before.
So
but that is, guys, we talked about this last night. That's why you use listen notes.
Boom. Yeah.
So let's just yeah. So we have this podcast. We like them. The VA likes them. You search them in listen notes. This podcast pops up. I'm gonna pull up this on my phone real quick. Right here, this little mail button. Just right click, copy email address, paste it somewhere. Demon. Who's Demon?
Probably I would say probably. So actually, Doug. I know the producer of the show. That's Doug. See, it's just a little hack. You guys can go to Doug at Mind Pump Media too. I can't believe his email. But yeah, if you wanted to pitch him on being that show, for instance, you could go to Doug, talk to him. But yeah, that's an easy hack. So find him in iTunes, put him into listen notes, and then you're off to the races.
Yeah. If you guys are on live, give me #live so more people could see this. This can go out to more people. So we went over that method to find guests. Obviously, listen notes is another method.
Super cool.
Or not to find guests, to find like shows podcasts to be on.
Yeah.
Is there any other methods you use?
I'm really big on 2 other ones. So that number 1 is Facebook groups like this. There's tons out there. So I would
to be interviewed on Facebook groups.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. And this takes a little bit of hustle. Like you have to get in there, figure out who's got a good podcast, and then obviously, like I'm sure you've talked about here, is provide a shit ton of value. So commenting on their stuff, leaving them a review for their show, and then listening to it. Those are the 3 big things right there.
Yeah.
Commenting, leaving a review, listening to the show so that you know what they're looking for, right? So if I know this guy is he's really big on like gut health, and let's just say his last episode was good and he got a lot of great feedback. If I'm a guy who knows gut health in the fitness industry, I'm going to pitch him on that. I'm like, hey man, I've done this, this, and this. I'm an expert in gut health. I'd love to be on the show.
Yeah. That's funny because part of my thing when we reach out to people to be on their show is we send them a screenshot of a review we made for them too.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So, hey, love your show. I just sent you a screenshot. So it builds reciprocity.
Right.
So they feel like, they have to give you some sort of value back, at least respond, if anything. At least
respond, exactly.
Yeah. So that's a good way so let's talk about the next part. Let's say Mind Pump. You want to be on their show.
Cool.
How do you start that outreach?
How you start the convo? Okay. So step 1, you definitely got to listen to what they're looking for.
Oh, what's up, Kiana, by the way?
What up, Kiana?
#live.
I would for those guys, it's a really big podcast. They're super selective. So if you're going on a show like that, you've got to pitch them on something that's relevant and high value. So knowing that their audience is a lot of trainers and a lot of really, really fact-checking fitness people, you really got to know your shit. And you also got to just know what they want, right? So listening to 3 or 4 episodes is going to do you a world of good. That's number 1. So yeah, I see it. That's probably the biggest thing right there. So we want to talk about kind of going into the pitch.
Yeah.
As how we'd write it. So number 1, your title's got to be really, really high value.
The email title?
The email title.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's try to give an example here of you can't be podcast guests because they probably get that all the time. But you've got to be something that you've listened to on their episode, a recent one, and then use that as the hook. So if I knew they were talking about gut health for men over 40, I would put I'm an expert in this. Let's say gut health for men over 40, because I know they just talked about that in 2 or 3 episodes ago. So I would use their content from that first podcast or most recent podcast in the title, right? And then I wouldn't talk about really me until the bottom of the email. Top of the thing there is going to be really just high value, right? So just kind of you got the sales page, you got really relevant title, shocking title, and then going into it, it's going to be really just over delivering on value. Hey, I heard you guys listened to X, Y, and Z episode. I also left a review. I've been a fan for who God knows. And I've also helped this many people achieve X, Y, and Z. Let's just say I'm an expert in health and fitness. So I think that would be, for me, like that's what we do ours. So it's like hook, super, super good value about what you can deliver on the show.
Yeah.
And then some bullet points, like bullet points would be talking points. So we can talk about gut health for men over 40. We can talk about different types of bacteria in the microbiome, whatever. And then the last part, I would say, like, here's my one sheeter, which we talk about next.
Yes.
Here's my one sheeter in case you want to know a little bit more about me. Would love to hear what you guys have in mind.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to pull up a one sheet example, guys.
Perfect.
But I'll use my friend, Katya, because that's kind of how I base off what we do for some clients. But that's very true how when you're reaching out, you want to kind of position yourself as unique and say you want to quickly position yourself as an authority too. Like if there's something you can brag about it early. Like numbers work
big time, like 0 to 100K.
Yeah. Or like I have an audience of 100, like something big that you can like leverage, whether it's a name, a number, definitely leverage. Even if you're like working with someone that's big, you can say that too.
I leveraged the shit out of that when I was first getting started. Like all of my DMs with people like, hey, I run Ben Bukowski's podcast. And everyone in the fitness industry knew who that was. Like, oh, you run his? So
that's the same thing.
Super
like
easy.
That's how I got a lot of clients. I say I work with Stephen Larson.
Bingo.
And he's on stage at ClickFunnels. And then all these people are in ClickFunnels and they're like, oh, you're automatically at the top of the chain, you know?
Yeah, so, you name drop like crazy. I mean, that's a huge one. Numbers as well. If you've lost let's say you lost like 300 pounds, like that's what I would put the title as, or that would be like my first line in the headline or in the email.
Because you got to think like this is the hook that they're going to use for the show. So if your hook sucks for them, then their hook for the show is going to suck.
Yeah.
So if you have a good hook for them, then it's almost a no-brainer for them.
Yeah.
Guys, let's get a hashtag Value Town. hashtag. I'm definitely going to rewatch this.
One hack for looking at, if you want to find really good titles and like really good hooks, go to like any kind of TMZ magazine, Muscle and Fitness, any of these like really gaudy like celebrity magazines or websites.
Gossipy and
gossipy. Other ones like I'd say in our space, more like Gizmodo, Entrepreneur, Forbes. Those guys know how to write titles. So like I like to use when I was writing sales copy in the fitness space, I would just I would grab a bunch of magazines like health and fitness ones and just copy the titles and try and make my own title. Copy the titles from those big websites, and those are usually good hooks.
That's genius.
So
that reminds me of Russell Brunson when he was showing photos when he first started out in the back in the day. He had boxes of like direct mail of like people selling shit, and he would just always look through them and like see what elicited responses.
That's so true, dude. I mean,
let me show real quick, guys. Share my screen. So this is a good one sheet. Let me. I still want to see if there's comments. One sec. Put this to the side. Let's get technical here, guys.
For real.
This is how I view
it. You can't be on Facebook. So you can't be on Facebook when this is going on, huh?
You could. I can go on Facebook right now. Can? Okay. Yeah. But So she has a good podcast bio. She says who she is, what she does. There's numbers in there. What she's a founder of. Very, very good. How to pronounce her name. Not a lot of people have that problem, so that's not important. All of her general contact information. That's what you want. And this is Katya at reachandmakemillions.com if you guys want to check it out. She has free gifts for her listeners and attendees. So that's all there for the person show you're going to be on. You can just tell them straight up if they have to include links, topics and questions, ideas. So this helps guests. I personally love when I'm going to interview someone.
They make it so easy. Oh
yeah. When they give you promotional bullet points or they tell you questions that you can ask them. I love that.
Who's this? Reach and Make Millions? Oh my, this is good.
Yeah.
Copy this.
Yeah, this is what I copy. Katya is really cool. She talks about time. She does time management for big entrepreneurs. She gives you photography to use. She gives you her logo, certifications. She'll give you past interviews she's been on. Wow. So if you want to research live streams, workshops, and links to all of them as well.
It's like a sales page for you to get on the show. Like that would kill me. That would knock me out. I'm like, she's on.
Yeah.
She put this like this into that.
Yeah. There's other blog put like a lot of stuff.
Wow.
This makes it almost like a no-brainer for people to say yes to you. So that's a great Katya at reachandmakemillions.com. You can see her press sheet. Actually, I don't even know if she publicizes
it's a living web page too. That's interesting too, because I feel like if you do a PDF like I was doing, it's a lot harder to change the dang thing when you change, because obviously you get more followers, you need to get a bigger email list. I like that a lot, so I'm stealing.
Cool. So I can send you the link for that. It's a special link. You can't find it online.
Oh, really? Get out of here. Okay.
She sent me that when I was an interviewer, and I'm like, this is badass. I'm taking this. So how to be a good guest on podcasts. We'll do that, and then we'll wrap up.
Cool.
What is the main? I want to hear from you. Like, what is the most important things if you're going to be on a podcast, like, to keep in mind?
I think you're looking at, like, if you guys are mostly hosts, right? What do you like when a podcaster brings on your show?
Even if you're host, you still want to be on their podcast.
Damn right. Yeah.
To get more listeners. So
definitely. If I'm usually I'm hosting, I like the person to bring some freaking action. Like I want them to know their story, so I don't have to pull it out of them. So number one, you got to know your story. Like, you've got to know all the high points, leave out the boring points that most people don't like. And that comes from repetition and practice and working with a coach. Like, I actually have a friend who's a coach, a speaking coach, and he helps people with their story arc, and it's big.
Yeah. What's actually big too is, like, when you talk to more audiences, like, if your story doesn't match their story, then they'll be less interested.
True.
So if it's like a mom talking and I'm listening to her and I can't relate with her story, then I won't be interested. You're
just toned out. You're zoned out.
Exactly. So try to use elements of your story that matches the audience you're talking to. So yeah.
That's great. That's a great point. Yeah. So know your story, know the audience coming in. Like, I hate when people come on, like, I've had one or two people do this, come on a show. I'm like, so who's the audience? I'm like, dude, and so know the audience, do your homework, and just listen to the podcast. And that's typically will tell you who the audience is. And then last but not least, I would say you really want to have some tangible takeaways for the audience. So your story, and then tangible takeaways, like teaching people very specific things that they would be interested in. So for instance, like this, my goal was to come on here and teach you guys how to find the stinking podcast, the links, the exact script to say, that kind of stuff. You can take that and like, you can use it. So I'd say that, and then last but not least, so it's something that you familiar with Tom Schwab?
Sounds familiar.
He's the CEO of Interview Valet.
Oh, okay. So you interviewed him, right?
Yeah, I interviewed him. Yeah. So one of the things his team does is, for every podcast he's on, they will make a very little copy and paste a web page, and it'll be like interviewvalet.com/podcast success secrets.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
So your audience can go there. You'll have a picture of your face, and he'll have a lead magnet down below. So if you have ClickFunnels, which I'm sure most of you guys do, I would make a page. You can copy and paste it, or you can basically duplicate it, right? When you go on a show, so if I go on Daxie's show, I'm going to have his picture of his artwork, and then I'm going to have a lead magnet for you guys there. Yeah. So when they get on the page, they know, like, oh yeah, like, I know I'm here. I'm in the right place because I see Daxie. So
it's congruent.
Yeah, super congruent. And also, like, it would be like website domain / name of the podcast. Yeah. And then have a lead magnet.
What's up, Sonia? Sonia's a badass.
Sonia, what up?
Yeah. Just saw her speak recently at a mastermind.
Oh, really?
James Smiley's, yeah. Nice. Yeah, I actually do that too. You could do it with WordPress too. Yeah. But we're on a summit, and our lead magnet is legacypodcasting.com / their summit name. Yeah. And then it has their logo, but then it also has our, hey, whatever attendees. Yeah. Here's your little gift. I love that. So yeah, I would say another big element of being a good guest on a show is obviously having your storyline. But a lot of it, I would say this is in general, if you're creating content, is you really want to know how to, a few key elements is, like, causing controversy or being controversial isn't bad at times.
That's huge. Yeah. Some people want to be yes men. Yeah. Like, you actually want to have some friction. I was interviewing one of my clients who's a WWE former wrestler, and she was saying, like, they have storylines for all those wrestling matches.
I've been lately I've been watching it, not because, like, I like watching it as a consumer, because, like, it's so simple. Yeah. And they make it that way on purpose, because it really hits, like, a primal part of people's, like, psychology.
I'll have to post that. I mean, if you went through the whole storyline, like how they set it up, like everything, she was giving me all these different names, how they call it. We'll have to share. I'll share that episode with you. That's a really cool episode.
Yeah, there's always, like, a bad guy. There's always an antagonist. And so
it's cool.
I won't
wasting more time. But yes.
Yeah. So, a big thing is knowing how to, agitate people's problems and then presenting a solution is what I say. It's like, freely explaining their situation and then saying like, all right, this is like what people used to think. This is what you used to think. And then this is the new way to think. And that's how you really like, get people to latch on. They're like, oh shit, I never heard that before. So yeah.
Yeah. I think one guy's two guys really good at that. Donald Miller from Story Brand, and then Garrett Gunderson. Garrett Gunderson.
Okay.
Both. I bought his book like that.
Donald Miller?
Or no, Garrett Gunderson.
Okay.
Because he's all about finance for entrepreneurs, how it's different from the normal like 9-to-5 guy. And Donald Miller is just an expert in story. Expert. He like does like the marketing campaigns for like presidents. When they're like trying to run for presidency, it's crazy. So he knows the stuff.
Donald Miller.
Okay. Story Brand podcast.
Yeah, I know his book has been blowing up.
Yeah, too. It's like 2-3 years old too. It's great. I'm like, you guys, in fact, I heard about it like in 2016.
I should probably listen to it because I hate reading.
Me too.
I have so many books, guys. Like this is why I'm an audio guy.
Yeah, me
like,
too. Go ahead.
I don't know what it is about books, dude. It's just
can't read them.
No,
they look good on my shelf.
Yeah,
but here's the thing I'm thinking about doing: sending them off to give them to my clients because they're going to use it more than me.
Very true.
And it makes me look good because I'm giving them, but I don't want to give it away because I spent money.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
and I'm too lazy to resell them. So
yeah, I'm just giving my clients, they'll love me.
Yeah. All right, guys. If you made it, whoever's here right now, you're a boss. If you made it this far, give me a #replay, #ValleyBomb. And then we'll be doing more lives like this in the future.
Yes, at the Hive.
Yes, at the Hive.
Live at the Hive.
We had a lot more people last night. Maybe it's because I was doing a screen share, like a training style.
Maybe because it's a Sunday.
Oh. Yeah, days are a thing. Shit. To me, like every day feels the same. Like I'm like, wait, Sunday? Like, okay. To other people it's different. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning on. Whoever's here, you're a boss. Oh, Leanne, new Credit Ninja, you're a boss. All right. Peace out. Later, guys.
See ya.